Hello and welcome back to another Plan With Me video. This year I'm very excited to be creating a Stardew Valley theme. In fact, I was so excited about this theme that I procrastinated for ages as I wanted to do it justice. For this spread, I'm using stickers created by Potato Graphics, which is a store on Etsy, and they sell seasonal sticker sets. I ended up buying all 4 because I knew they would be great for journaling and I wanted as many sticker options as possible. This year I'm using a notebook therapy journal again. This time it's a gorgeous teal colour with gold foil decorative edges. I'm not sure if the teal colour will show up properly in the video because it was showing as more blue when I was recording, but I promise it's this gorgeous teal colour. It's so pretty. I've actually noticed I've been using a lot of blue journals in the last couple of years. It's not that I have a specific preference for blue, I just really liked the specific journals. But the one I'm using this year is teal rather than a more traditional blue colour. And I will be sad to say goodbye to the journal I've been using this year because I am still obsessed with the holographic foil edges. It is so pretty, and every time I pick up the journal I have a look before I open it. It just really adds to the journaling experience. So as per usual, I signed the front page. It feels weird to leave that blank. I was going to sign it Gem the Farmer, given that it's Stardew Valley themed, but there wasn't actually enough room. And I didn't want to write just Gem because it would have been too left-centered, so I ended up writing Gemma. On my original farm, or original save in Stardew Valley, I named my character Gem, which is not very original, but it still feels like the character I associate Stardew Valley with because that was my original character in the game. Now that I've been playing for a while, I have other characters that I've named, and every time I create a farm I tend to do a different theme. So I had like a Twilight theme, for example, and I was naming the chickens and the cows after characters within the film. On the front page within my journal, I've written the quote, "May this year bring good fortune," in a Stardew Valley font. When I sketched out this year's theme, the font was actually the bit that took the longest. To match this quote, I of course needed to use the rare prismatic shard. On my most recent save, I actually found 10 of them in 2 years, which seemed like a huge number given how rare they used to be. So I don't know if they're not as rare anymore or if I am just incredibly lucky in that save, but I still felt like it was the perfect sticker to match this quote. On the next page, I have my rainy day / lazy day / pick me up ideas page. Basically, it's going to be a page for ideas of things to do when I need an energy boost. And this year I was actually considering sectioning it out, like books I love, movies I love, TV films I love, just general activities I love. I didn't include that in the recording, and I haven't done that at this time of recording the audio. But I definitely like the idea of kind of segmenting different things that fill me with energy, so I think I will do that. Again, I've continued with the Stardew Valley font for the headers, and that's a consistent thing in this setup that I've tried to imitate the Stardew Valley font. It's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. For this page, because it was all about things that bring me energy and perk me up, I ended up using a star drop sticker. So if you're familiar with the game, a star drop is something that you gain in the game and it increases your max energy levels. So I just wanted to tie it in because I felt it was relevant. When you eat a star drop in the game, it also gives you a message based on the favourite thing you've inputted when you start the game. So my favourite thing was always tea. That's why as the header I put "your mind is filled with thoughts of tea," and it just felt really fitting for me, so I liked that little touch there. On the other side, I have my self-care tracker. I based the calendars off the ones in the game, so I used the beige Ecoline brush pen for the background colour because the ones in the game have a cream coloured background. The calendar layout in my journals are a little larger because I wanted to make sure that I can fill in 6 rows for those weird months where you might have the first of the month as a Sunday and the last of the month right at the bottom. So that's why I've made them bigger. I also didn't do an outline across the calendar. So in the game, it has an outline per box, but because there were 6 rows rather than, because there were 7 rows total rather than 5, I just thought it would look a bit messy, so I decided against that. I also decided not to put the dates in on camera, as one, it takes forever, and I didn't have a ton of time to set this up. And I tend to always make a mistake, so I thought if I do that bit off camera, I could be more attentive and really make sure I get it right. But despite that, I made a mistake on the last month where I added the days of the week. I ended up writing Saturday rather than Thursday. I don't know how I made that mistake. I think just as I get towards the end, I start to rush, and that's when I tend to make mistakes. It's funny, when I set up any calendar spread, so either my self-care tracker or in the past my period tracker, I always make a mistake no matter what. It just seems to always happen. For the header of my self-care tracker, I decided to use a strawberry sticker. Now, originally I wanted an apple sticker, but there wasn't one, so I ended up going for strawberry instead, and strawberries are cute, so I popped that on there. Moving on to the next couple of pages, I have my prediction pages. I have 3 sections: what I want to happen, what I hope will happen, or that's called predictions as well, and what actually happened. I always enjoy this page because it encourages me to write down what I honestly want to happen from the year. And then my prediction section kind of lets me air my natural pessimism a little. And then at the end of the year, I write down what actually happened. So I like that I'm able to write down my optimism, write down my pessimism, and then also see what actually happened in the year. Because I don't know, I just find that really satisfying. For the decoration on this page, I decided to draw a few junimos. And I've drawn them before. You simply draw, a circle, simple dots for eyes, and then rosy cheeks. But for some reason, they didn't quite go to plan. I think it's because the colours weren't quite vibrant enough. So I don't know if it's clear on camera, but they look a bit pale and they don't look quite right. So it's not exactly how I planned, but this is what happens when I don't have enough Junimo stickers. So yeah, I decided to draw it, and it's fine. It's still on theme. I did actually contemplate covering them up with other stickers, but I was worried that the stickers would look a bit out of place and not quite neat. So I decided just to stick with the Junimo stickers. Flipping over, I have my year at a glance pages. So this is where I'll write key events and memories from 2025. For this page, I had a couple of ideas. One was the iconic background of Stardew Valley with the blue sky and white clouds. But one, I don't think it would look good with brush pens. 2, I couldn't be bothered to wait for paint to dry if I used paint instead. And 3, art is not my speciality, so I felt like there was more chance of it going wrong. The other idea I had was to create kind of the wooden letters that is in the style of Stardew Valley that you see on the title page, on the title screen even. I keep talking about pages because I'm journaling. For the colour, I used a Pentel brush pen, and yeah, it's like a yellowy brown colour, and I think it worked really well for kind of the wooden colour associated with the letters in game. And then I used an Ecoline brush pen for the leaves. I used a gel pen to outline the letters, and then a darker brown brush pen to kind of create a wooden effect just by drawing small lines on top of the wood. This ended up actually being one of my favourite pages. I really like how the letters turned out. I think it looks simple and clean, but still on theme. So I'm really happy with this setup. Moving along were a couple of pages I deliberated a lot about, and that was my goal pages. So again, I had several ideas of ways I could go about creating goal pages. So for example, I was considering creating like a grandpa's shrine. As you get in the game, when you progress, you get more candles, but that sounded like it required a lot of drawing. Another idea, which is the one I went with, was to create bundles. So having different themed bundles with different ideas or different themes. And I tried to base these based on the game as well. So for example, in the game where you have the community center where you have these bundles, there's an arts and crafts room bundle. So rather than call it arts and crafts room, I ended up calling it creative. Another example is the friendship bundle. So for this, you submit gifts that people like, and in return you're able to make friends with the characters in game. So for this theme, I decided to switch it to social rather than friendship, just generally because it might be that I do things with friends or family. I put a lot of thought into these bundles and what theme I wanted them to be, so I ended up with a creative, lifestyle, home, biz, social and travel bundle. I also tried to think of sticker ideas that would match these themes. So for example, in the game with the arts and crafts bundle, you have to submit kind of seasonal forage. So one of those things is like a dandelion. So I included a dandelion for the crafts room / creative bundle. And yeah, I'm just really happy with how this turned out. I like the layout. It's very different to how I normally do my goals pages. So traditionally I would, create a mind map and mind map out ideas, but this helps me to break down different types of goals in a different way. It also encourages me to think about other things I want from life other than business related goals, because being self-employed, it's very easy to just focus completely on business, and this kind of nudges me to focus more on other things outside of that. So examples of these goals in each, for creative, I wanted to try crocheting. I've never tried crocheting before, but I know people that practice it and really enjoy it. Another example is in the lifestyle. I wanted to go for a run in January. I've tried to keep these realistic, so I haven't, said I'll do Couch to 5k again and not complete it. I just want to go for one run and just feel like I've put myself out there again in terms of running. Another example is with social. I wanted to host a Galentine's Day. So I've done this once before where I had some friends round and we watched a film, and it was just really nice, really cozy. So I want to do that again this year. I ended up putting my goals in a bit of an ad hoc way. I just kind of looked at the different themes, and when I thought of one, I would add in another. It ended up that business had a few more goals because that just happens. I tend to think a lot about my business and what I want to do with it, so it makes sense that those goals would be kind of forefront in my mind. I haven't completely filled the goals section, and that's good because I want room to be able to add things throughout the course of the year. I do plan on, adding kind of check boxes to these once I have more in there. For the next couple of pages, I have my quarterly goal breakdown, and I wanted a personal goals section and a business goals section. So very fittingly, I have created two different themes. So for the personal theme, I've used the seasonal seeds. So there's the spring, summer, autumn and winter seeds. And then for business, I've done the dwarf scrolls in the game because there's 4 of them. And I've made sure to order them correctly. I did double check, and those are for business goals. So I just like this, it's really simple. I didn't end up adding any text because I didn't think it was needed. I know what needs to go there. So I'm excited to use these quarterly goal spreads. On the next page, I have my wins page. And then I decided to add a challenges page to my journal. Now this was originally meant to be like a games challenge page. For example, there's a challenge in Stardew Valley I've been working on for years called the 5 candle challenge, where basically you have to do a bunch of goals to achieve a 5 candle rating. I'd been attempting it for a couple of years, and this year I finally completed it. Well, I completed the original version of it, but because they had a big update a year or so ago, there's more content in the game. So although I'd completed the original challenge, it felt like there was still things missing. So that's why at the bottom of the challenges page, I drew 6 candles, because in my head, I'm now thinking of the next challenge I'm going to do as the 6 candles challenge. For the wins page, I added a diamond sticker. It just felt fitting, and because my business is called Calligraphy Gems and a lot of my wins tend to be business related, I felt that it was tying in with the theme and with my business. The next couple of pages, I have my anxiety tracker and my new health tracker. So for the anxiety page, I decided to incorporate Stardew Valley into the theme of it. So when you fish, if you fish any rubbish, it will come up with a message, and with one of the pieces of rubbish it says something like, "This is trash." So I kind of wanted to write down these thoughts that weren't helpful and work through them in my anxiety kind of page, and that's why I went with the this is trash phrase at the top of it. For the health page, I decided to use the energy vial, because although it doesn't top up health, I definitely associate it with going to Harvey's clinic in the game. For the next page, I have a business revenue tracker. So for this one, I've just done a simple graph, and at the top I've left a little bit of space to write down any comments I might have regarding that. For the design, I decided to tie in fishing, because in the game I use fishing a lot early in game to make money, and I wasn't sure what fish to include in there, so I ended up using the legend fish, which is like the hardest fish to catch in the game, or one of them. So I just thought that felt relevant to have, you know, a challenging fish to catch tied to my business revenue tracker, where, you know, I want to be doing as best as I can. On the opposite page, I also have another new page, and this is kind of a marriage page, which sounds intense, but it's just a page for me to write down moments where I really appreciate my partner, where I'm just really thankful, and to write down, you know, things I might want to do together, like different activities. And yeah, so that's that page. And of course I used the mermaid pendant, which relates to marriage in the game. Then the next few pages are grateful columns. So I was looking through past journals for kind of inspiration for this year, and I came across this same layout where I had these grateful columns, and I didn't keep it up for the entire year, but reading those back, it just made me really happy to, you know, see moments where I had appreciation for what was going on in my life. And yeah, I really liked reflecting back on those, so I've incorporated that again this year. And then for each month, I've kind of tried to choose a relevant sticker to the season, so, you know, a more wintry item for winter, etc, etc. I ended up going back and adding a junimos sticker I had to add it to the front page of the journal, just so you had that kind of Stardew Valley theme as soon as you opened the journal. And here is my flip through of all of the pages. I'm really happy with how this theme turned out. It feels kind of simple because, you know, I'm not adding tons of colour, but the stickers really stand out, and I love this game, and I love being able to bring, you know, my different loves together. So I have journaling, Stardew Valley, and then I've brought in lettering as well. So it's just been a really fun project to work on. I'm glad I finally did it, because I'd been procrastinating on this for ages because I wanted to do it right, and now it's here and I'm happy with how it turned out. I'd love to hear what your favourite page of this journal was, and yeah, if you play the game, is there any pages you would add that I potentially missed? Are there different themed pages you would do? Let me know, because I still have some stickers left, so there could be additional pages that I add to the journal. But yeah, that's a wrap on my annual plan with me this year. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!